Good morning, dear students. I hope you are all safe at home. I am R. Arul Kumar, Department of Maths, Saudambika Group of Schools. On behalf of the Higher Secondary Wing of Saudambika Group of Schools, I welcome you all to our group of schools. I am happy for you all that you are at the right place at the right time. Also, I assure you that you will be given best in all aspects. Now we move on to our subject, grade 11 mathematics, the queen of science. Why? Because there are certain qualities which are nurtured only by mathematics. They are power of reasoning, creativity, critical thinking, abstract and problem solving ability, and even in effective communication skill. The only way to learn mathematics is to do mathematics. Now we move on to our content. So in our grade 11 maths, the higher secondary maths is considered as the base of learning higher maths. So you must be aware of it and you must keep attention in all aspects. Now in grade 11 maths, we are having two volumes. Volume 1 and volume 2. In volume 1, we are having 6 chapters. In volume 2, we are having 6 chapters. So 6 plus 6, we are having totally 12 chapters in grade 11 maths. Now we are going to start chapter 1, sets, relations and functions. Before getting into the topic, I want to share you one thing, that since you are at home, we will be sending video classes to you all. To make it as effective, two things are very essential. Number one, keen observation is needed, and number two, you have to follow up the video classes. Further, you have to put separate note and you have to write what are the things we are going to discuss. Okay, Nana. Next we move on to our topic, chapter 1, sets, relations and function. This is not new for you all because we had sets, relations and functions in our grade 10 maths itself. And of course this is new for those who are from CBSE stream. So for their sake I am going to recall all the things what we have learned in grade 10 maths. Now I am going to define sets. So definition. What do you mean by set? A set is nothing but a collection of well-defined objects. What do you mean by set? A set is nothing but a collection of well-defined objects. The word well-defined in the definition of set is very important. It has its own meaning. So what do you mean by well-defined? So what are the things we are going to collect should be defined properly. That is, it must be possible for us to decide whether a certain event or particular event, particular element is a member of a collection or not. So shall we have some example for set? Yes, the set of all vowels in English alphabet. We know what are the vowels of English alphabet: A, E, I, O, U. So there are 5 vowels in English alphabet. So it is possible for us to collect or to find out the elements, that is the vowels of English alphabet. So this is of course well defined. Shall we have one more example? The set of all natural numbers. So we know the natural number starts from 1, 2, 3, etc. and it goes on up to infinite. So it is possible for us to decide whether this particular number is an element of a set or not. So this is of course well defined. Shall we have one more example? So the set of all, the collection of beautiful flowers in Ooty Rose Garden. So is it a set? So definitely it is not a set, because the word beautiful is not defined properly. So the word beautiful is not defined properly because the word beauty differs from person to person, content to content and object to object. So I may consider one flower as beauty, but others may not. So the word beautiful is not defined sharply. So now this is not, of course, well defined. Is it clear? So the statement, the collection of beautiful flowers in Ooty Rose Garden is not a set. Now I am going to rewrite sharply to define the set. Is it clear? So now the word beautiful is removed and now it is rewritten as the collection of red flowers in Ooty Rose Garden. Now it is possible for us to find the red flowers. So now if a particular flower is in red in color, so we can include that flower in our collection. So this is of course a well-defined collection and of course this form a set. So from this you can understand the word well-defined. Is it clear? Now we are going to have some note regarding set. So the name of a set should be in caps always. That is, the name of the set can be A, B, C, etc. capital letters. And the elements are listed and separated by commas. That is, the set of all vowels. What are the vowels? A, E, I, O, U. The elements are listed and separated by a comma and enclosed with a pair of parentheses or a curly bracket, or of course this bracket is also known as set bracket, and the name of the set should be in caps. So these are the conditions, these are the things what we are having in sets. And of course the elements in the set should not repeat it again. So it is listed only once in a set. So next we move on to representation of a set. Representation of sets. So there are three types of representation of sets are there. Number one, descriptive form. Number two, rule form or set builder form. Number three, roster form or tabular form. So these are the three representation of a set. So in a descriptive form, a set is described in words. A set is described in words. Say for example, the set of all vowels of English alphabets. So here the set is described in a word. So this is called descriptive form. Next, a rule or set builder form. That is, a set is described in a rule, or a set is described by a rule is called rule form or set builder form. That is, a set A which is equal to set of all X such that X is a vowel of English alphabets. So this is called rule form or set builder form. Next we have roster form or tabular form. So in which a set is described by listing the elements of the set. So now the same set A is equal to set of all vowels. What are the vowels? Kana? A, E, I, O, U. So the elements are listed and separated by commas and enclosed within a square curly bracket or set bracket. So we have three types of representation. One is a descriptive form, another one is the rule or set builder form, another one is a roster or tabular form. So with this, the definition of set and representation of a set is over. Next we move on to types of sets. Next we will see some types of sets. Empty set or void set. So from the word empty, what do you mean by empty? Nothing is there. So empty set is nothing but if a set which contains no elements is known as empty set, and it is denoted as pi or with empty braces. So next, subsets. Consider two sets capital A and capital B. If every element of capital A is again an element of capital B, then A is called subset of capital B. That is, A is called subset of capital B. So, shall we have an example? A is equal to 1, 2, 3 and B is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, every element of A is again an element of B. So, here A is called subset of B, and whereas B is called superset. And B is called what, Kana? Superset. So, now for the set A, the empty set, and the set A itself, that is 1, 2, 3, or the subsets of capital A, because all the elements of 1, 2, 3 is again an element of capital A. So this set A itself is a subset of A. This is clear, right? These two sets are called trivial subsets. These two subsets are called trivial subsets. If a subset A is not equal to B, then A is called a proper subset of B. If a subset A of B is not equal to B, then the set A is called proper subset of B. If here in the case, here 1, 2, 3, here also 1, 2, 3 we are having. So this case, this set is called improper subset. Next we move on to power set. What do you mean by power set? The set of all subsets of a set is called power set. Shall we have one set A is equal to 1, 2. So now we are going to list all the subsets of this set A. That is, empty set is a subset of every set, and we will start with single element 1, 2. Again we will have the whole set. We know the empty set and the set itself is a subset of the same set. These two sets are called what sets then? Trivial subsets. So how many subsets are there? 4 subsets are there. This is called power set. So the number of elements in a power set is denoted as P of A and is equal to 2 power n. N is called number of elements in a set. Here how many number of elements are there? 2 elements are there. That is 2 power 2, which is equal to 4 elements are there in a power set. Is it clear? So number of elements in a power set, P of A is equal to 2 power n, where n is the number of elements in the set. Next we are going to define universal set. What do you mean universal set? Universal set is a set which contains all the elements of all the set under consideration. That means under particular mathematical calculation. And the universal set is denoted as capital U, which contains all the elements of all the sets. Okay, next, cardinal number of a set. Cardinal number of a set is nothing but the number of elements present in a set is called cardinal number of a set. Say for example, let A is equal to AE IOU. Therefore, N of A, that is a cardinal number of a set, is defined as number of elements in set A. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 elements are there in A. Therefore, N of A, that is cardinal number of a set, is 5. So next we move on to singleton set. What do you mean by singleton set? The word single itself, we know about the sets. What do you mean by singleton set? A set which has only one element is called singleton set. A set of all even prime number. So A is equal to what are the even prime numbers? Only one even prime number is there, that is 2. So this is called singleton set. That is N of A is equal to what, Kana? 1. That is the cardinal number of a set is 1. Then that particular set is called singleton set. Next we move on to finite set. What do you mean by finite set? If a set contains finite or countable number of elements, then that particular set is called finite set. Say for example, a set A is equal to 1, 2, 3, etc. up to 50. So now n of A is equal to how many elements are there? 50 elements are there. If the number of elements in a set is countable or finite, then that particular set is called what? Finite set. So what do you mean by infinite set? If number of elements in a set is uncountable or infinite, if a set has infinite number of elements, then that particular set is called infinite set. So say for example, the set for natural numbers. Natural number starts from 1, 2, 3, etc. It goes on up to infinity. So the number of elements is, we can't not able to count the number of elements in the set of natural numbers. So here natural set of natural number is an infinite set. Okay, now we are going to do some operations on sets. First operation is union of sets. Union of two sets, capital A and capital B, is denoted by A union B and is defined by set of all x such that x belongs to A or x belongs to B. So union is nothing but union of two sets is nothing but we are going to combine the elements of A and B together. So set of all x such that x may be an element of A or may be an element of B. So now we are going to combine the elements of A and B. So next, second operation is nothing but intersection of two sets. So intersection of two sets A and B is denoted as A intersection B and is defined by set of all x such that x belongs to A and x belongs to B. That is, x belongs to both A and B. That is, A intersection B is nothing but common elements of both A and B. Common elements of both A and B. Shall we have an example? So let us have A is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 and B is equal to 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we are going to find A union B. Union means we are going to combine the elements of A and B together. So now shall we combine 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we have to combine the elements of B also. 3 is there, but 3 already is there in A and B. Already I told you that in a set, elements should not be repeated again. 4 is there, 4 already is there. Next, we can combine 5 and 6. So the elements of A and B together form A and B. Is it clear? Next, A intersection B. Intersection means common elements of both A and B. What are the common elements of A and B? 3 and 4 is there in A and in B also. Therefore, the common elements of A and B is nothing but what? 3, 4. If A intersection B is empty, that is no elements in common, then that two sets A and B are called disjoint sets. If A and intersection B have some element, then the two sets are called overlapping sets. So now we are having A intersection B have some elements, then the two sets are called overlapping sets. If A intersection B is equal to empty, then the two sets are called what? The two A intersection B is equal to empty, then the two sets are called disjoint sets. Is it clear? Right. Next, we are going to define union for set of n sets. Now, I reads from 1 to n. Now we are going to union set of n sets. So A1, A2, A3, etc. An we are going to union together. So is nothing but set of all x such that x belongs to Ai for some I. That is, x may be in A1, A2, A3, etc. An. So likewise, we are going to intersect a set of n sets. I reads from 1 to n, which is equal to set of all x such that x belongs to I for each I. That means x must be an element of A1, A2, A3, etc. An. X must be in all the n sets. Then only that will be in intersection. So we have completed union and intersection of two sets. Next, set difference. set difference. That is, let A and B be two sets, then set of A difference B is denoted as set of all X such that X belongs to A and X does not belong to B. So the set difference A difference B is defined as set of all elements of A not in B. Set of all elements of A not in B is called set difference. Next, number 4, symmetric difference. Before the symmetric difference, we are having complement of a set. The complement of a set capital A is denoted as A dash, and A dash is given as set of all X such that X belongs to U and X does not belong to A. So A dash is nothing but set of all elements in U not in A. Set of all elements in U not in A. That is, which is equal to U difference A. That is, A dash is defined as U difference A. A dash is defined as what? U difference A. Next we have symmetric difference. So the symmetric difference of two sets A and B is denoted as A delta B and is defined as A difference B union B difference A. So A symmetric difference B is denoted as A difference B union B difference A and is written as in a symbol set of all X such that X belongs to A difference B or X belongs to B difference A. So this is called symmetric difference. So with this, operations on set are over. Okay, we move on to exercise sum. Exercise 1.1, write in roster form. So we are given in a set builder or a description form. Now we have to write in a roster or listed form. So now it is in a rule form. Set of all X belongs to N, comma X squared is less than 121 and X is a prime number. So here X is a natural number and X is also prime. So that we have to select the value of X. So natural number starts from 1, but 1 is neither prime nor composite. Next we can have 2. 2 is a prime number and 2 squared is less than 121. Therefore 2 will come. Next prime number is 3. 3 squared is 9, which is less than 121. So 3 also will come. And next to 3, the next prime number is 5. 5 squared is 25, which is less than 121. Therefore 5 also comes. 5 squared is 25. After 5, we will have next prime number is 7. 7 squared is 49. So 7 also will come. Next we have 8 will not come, 9 will not come, 10 will not come, 11 is there. 11 squared is 121, which is not less than 121, which is equal to 121. Therefore 11 will not come. So the recursive set, you can name the set as capital A, which is equal to 2, 3, 5 and 7. Next, the set of all positive roots of the equation. So now we are going to solve the equation. So x minus 1 is equal to 0, which is equal to x is equal to 1, and x plus 1 is equal to 0, which is equal to x is equal to minus 1, and x square minus 1 equal to 0, which implies x square equal to 1, x is equal to plus or minus 1. So what are the roots there? 1, minus 1, plus or minus 1. Therefore plus 1, minus 1 is the root. Now we want to find only the positive roots. So what is the positive root? Plus 1 is the positive root, because minus 1 is negative root. So we can name the set as capital B. So in B only one element is there. If one element is there, what type of set it is? It is of course a singleton set. Is it clear? Next we move on to sum number 3. So here it is x belongs to n. N is natural number and it should satisfy 4x plus 9 is less than 52. So that we have to select x. Is it clear? Right, we will start from first number. First natural number is 1. So we can put 1 here. 4 plus 9 is 13, which is less than 52. So 1 will come. Next we can take 2. 2 4s are 8. 8 plus 9 is nothing but 17, which is less than 52. Therefore 2 also come. Next we will have 3. 3 4s are 12. 12 plus 9 is 21, which is less than 52. Therefore 3 also will come. So 4, 5, etc. will come. We will put 10 here. 4 tens are 40. 40 plus 9 is 49, which is less than 52. So up to 10, all the numbers will come. That is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Next we will put 11. 4 into 11 is 44. 44 plus 9 is nothing but 53. So which is not less than 52. So up to 10 only will come. So we can name this set as C. So C contains from 1 to 10. Next we move on to fourth sum. Set of all x's where x minus 4 by x plus 2 is equal to 3 and x belongs to r minus 2. So now we have to solve this equation to find the value of x. So x minus 4 by x plus 2 is equal to 3. Now x minus 4 is equal to, we can cross multiply this, 3x plus 3 2s are 6. Now we can take this minus 4 there. So x minus 3x is equal to 6 plus 4. So minus 2x is equal to 10. So x is equal to minus 5. Therefore, the value of x is minus 5. So minus 5 only will come. So we can name the set as D. Of course, it has only one element. It is a singleton set. So with this, first division is over. That's it. Second sum of the exercise, minus 1 comma 1, write in set builder form. So we have to write the set minus 1 comma 1 in a set builder form. We can name the set as A. A is equal to set of all x, set builder or rule form. Set of all x is there. X is the solution of this equation, x squared minus 1 is equal to 0. What is the solution of this equation? X squared minus 1 is equal to 0. X squared is equal to 1 and x is equal to plus or minus 1. In the last exercise, first sum, we have like no. So we use that equation here. So by solving x squared minus 1 is equal to 0, we will get what? Plus 1 and a minus 1. That is the elements in the set here. Now we move on to third sum. State whether the following set is finite or infinite. Now first sum, x belongs to a natural number. X is an even prime number. Now we know what is the even prime number. 2 is the only even prime number. So whether it is a finite set or different set, yes, it has only one element. Of course, it is a finite set. Next, x belongs to natural number. X is an odd prime number. So what are the odd prime numbers? 3, 5, 7, etc. etc. It goes on. So the odd prime number is an infinite set. So it is of course an infinite set. So next, set of all x belongs to z. Z is nothing but integers, which includes both positive integers and negative integers. X is an even number less than 10. So less than 10, what will come? 8, 6, 4, 2, 0, minus 2, minus 4. It goes on left side. So it is of course an infinite set. Because it includes negative numbers also. So x belongs to real number, x is a rational number. So rational number is a set of all fractions of the form p by q. So rational numbers means which include the set of all rational numbers. So which is of course infinite set. Is it clear? Here x belongs to natural number, x is the rational number. So in natural number we have to collect the rational number, that is set of all fraction of the form p by q. So it has many elements, uncountable elements. Therefore, this is also an infinite set. That's it. Okay, Gana. Next, we are going to define Cartesian product of two sets. Let us consider two sets, capital A and B. The Cartesian product of A and B is denoted as A cross B and is defined as set of all ordered curves of A comma B such that A belongs to capital A and B belongs to capital B. So the Cartesian product of A and B is denoted as A cross B and is defined as set of all A comma B such that A belongs to capital A and B belongs to capital B. Shall we have an example? So capital A is equal to 1, 2, 3 and capital B is equal to 3, 4. Now we are going to find A cross B, that is Cartesian product of A and B. So 1, 2, 3 is there and 3, 4 instead of B. So now we are going to find Cartesian product. Cartesian product is nothing but set of all ordered pairs A comma B such that the first element belongs to the first set and the second element belongs to the second set. Is it clear? Now we are going to take one by one of the first set and we are going to pair along with the elements of the second set. Now shall we take 1? So now we are going to pair along with 3 and 4. So 1 comma 3, again 1 comma 4. Shall we take 2? Now we are going to pair along with 3 and 4. What is that? 2 comma 3, 2 comma 4. Now we are going to take 3. We are going to pair along with 3 and 4. That is 3 comma 3, 3 comma 4. This is the Cartesian product of two sets. Is it clear? We are going to take one element and we are going to pair along with the elements of B. So like that we have to take all the elements of capital A. Next we move on to define the Cartesian product of three sets. The Cartesian product of three sets, that is A, B, C, is denoted as A cross B cross E and is defined as set of all triplets. So this is called set of all ordered pairs. This is called set of all ordered triplets such that A belongs to capital A, B belongs to capital B and C belongs to capital C. So this is called set of all ordered triplets, whereas this is called set of all ordered pairs. So now shall we define A cross A? So instead of B we are putting again A. So A cross A is defined as set of all A comma B such that A comma B both belongs to capital A. So this is A cross A. Shall we have example? This same A cross A which is equal to 1, 2, 3 with 1, 2, 3 again. So now we are going to take 1. We are going to pair along with this 1, 2, 3. So now 1 comma 1, 1 comma 2, 1 comma 3. Next we are going to take 2, pair along with 1, 2, 3. That is 2 comma 1, 2 comma 2, 2 comma 3. Next we are going to take 3 and we are going to pair along with this 1, 2, 3. That is 3 comma 1, 3 comma 2, 3 comma 3. This is A cross A. That is Cartesian product of two sets. So shall we define A cross A like A cross A is equal to set of all A comma A such that A belongs to capital A? Is it the correct way? So the question mark is there in your text. So we have to answer. So whether this A cross A is correct or this A cross A is correct. According to this A cross A, shall we find A cross A? That is A cross A. So according to this definition, A comma A is there. That is, if you take first element of A, you have to pair along with first element only. That is 1 comma 1. And next, if you take second element, you have to pair along with second element only. That is 2 comma 2. If you take third element, you have to pair along with the third element only. That is 3 comma 3. Because set of all A comma A is there. Is it clear? Right? Only 1 comma 1, 2 comma 2 and 3 comma 3 only comes in A cross A. So whether from this you came to know whether this A cross A is correct or this A cross A is correct. Obviously this A cross A, the definition of this A cross A is only correct. This will not be correct because this includes only the equal ordered pair. That is 1 comma 1, 2 comma 2 and 3 comma 3. Other ordered pair will not included in this definition. So obviously this definition is wrong. So this is the answer for the question asked in your textbook. So instead of A and B, one can take a real number. That is R cross R. So in R cross R, we can have R cross R is defined as set of all x comma y such that x belongs to R comma y belongs to R. So this is nothing but R2, that is, and this is nothing but R2, two-dimensional plane. So like we can define R cross R set of all x, y, z such that x belongs to R, y belongs to R and z belongs to R. So this is R cross R is written as R3 and it is of course three-dimensional plane. So with this we are going to do some sums on exercise. In a Cartesian product of two, say, is A cross B is equal to B cross A? Certainly not. A cross B is never be equal to B cross A if A not equal to B. A cross B will be equal to B cross A if and only if A and B are equal. Is it clear? Right, next we move on to do some sums on Cartesian product. Question number 4. For any three sets A, B, C, we have to prove A cross B intersection C is equal to A cross B intersection A cross C. So now, according to our wish, we can take three sets. Let A is equal to 1, 2, 3 and B is equal to 3, 4 and C is equal to 1, 3, 5. Now we are going to verify the result by using this sets. So shall we have LHS? What is LHS? A cross B intersection C. So bracket terms should be evaluated first. So we have to find B intersection C at first. So B intersection C, that is the common element of B and C should be taken. So what is the common element of B and C? That is nothing but 3 alone. Next we have to find A cross B intersection C. So that is, what is A kana? 1, 2, 3 and 3 is there. So we have to take 1 from the first set, we have to pair along with 3. That is 1, 3, no element is there in B to be paired. So now we can take 2 and 2 is paired with 3 and 3 we can take 3, 3. So this is A cross B intersection C. So let it be equation number 1. Is that clear? Right. Next we move on to RHS. What is RHS kana? A cross B intersection A cross C. What is A cross B? A cross B. What is A kana? 1, 2, 3 cross. What is B? 3, 4. So we have to take 1. We have to pair along with 3 and 4. That is 1, 3, 1, 4. Next we can take 2, 2, 3, 2, 4. Next we can take 3, 3, 3, 4. So this is A cross B. Next we have to find A cross C. What is A cross C kana? A cross C. What is A? 1, 2, 3 cross. What is C kana? 1, 3, 5. 1, 3, 5. Now we have to take 1 pair along with the 3 elements of C, that is 1, 3, 5. 1, 1, 3, 1, 5. Next take 2 is taken. 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 5. Next 3 is taken. 3, 1, 3, 3, 3, 5. So now we have to find A cross B intersection A cross C. So we have to find the common elements of A cross B and A cross C. So what is A cross B? 1, 3. 1, 3 is there. 1, 4. No 1, 4 is there. 2, 3. We are having 2, 3. And 2, 4. We don't have 2, 4. 3, 3. We are having 3, 3. So 3, 4. Not 3, 4 is there. So with this, we have, this is equation number 2. Look at equation number 1 and 2. So 1 and 2 are equal. So from 1 and 2, we can conclude that A cross B intersection C is equal to A cross B intersection A cross C. Hence, verified. So with this, first division of fourth sum is over. So two more divisions are there in fourth sum, that is second division and third division, that you can do as a homework. So with this, I conclude my first session. We will continue the remaining sums in the next class. Thank you.